Alrighty, y'all. It just seems to be we cannot catch a break from really any type of weather going on, whether it's severe weather, whether it's flooding, whether it's really anything ongoing. We can't catch a break from it. Even though I try to take a break for one day, it never happens. Welcome into the stream, guys. I hope you guys are all doing well tonight. We got some serious, not stuff that I really want to talk about. Gonna talk about, and that is gonna be Texas. We've had some severe weather across the United States today. Really didn't unfold once again. The last 3 days worth of severe weather, other than the couple of tornadoes and destructive wind warnings we saw in Wisconsin and Illinois yesterday. That's really been about it. We've seen just a lot of flooding in Oklahoma today. Oklahoma City has seen a lot of flooding. We've seen a lot of flooding in Texas over the last week, and this is where really, excuse me, this is where it's really going to suck. But the same areas that were heavily impacted from flash flooding last week are under the gun again with a level 3 out of 4 moderate risk for catastrophic flash flooding potentially later on tonight through tomorrow. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to deep dive into the forecast. If I could make this any better, guys, there's not really a good thing out of this. Y'all mostly know that have been watching and paying attention to the weather, whether it be for me or just in general across the United States. Texas has been really impacted. There are still so many people that are unaccounted for. We are at over 120 plus fatalities, I think, at this point from a week ago. So it's just been now about 7 days since this event happened last week. So sadly, like I said, we're going to be seeing horrific rainfall totals overnight tonight. We could see rainfall totals as high as 15 inches of rainfall, potentially in some areas in the same exact areas that got hit last week. So I do want to go ahead and make something known now. If I see any comments in the chat about cloud seeding or weather modification, I'm going to mute you and I'm going to block you. Now is not the time for that conversation. That's not existing right now. We're going to actually cover this in real time so you guys know that this is actual weather that's happening, not the government controlling our weather. So once again, this is a real weather phenomenon that is happening, not anything controlled or cloud seeding or any of that bull crap. So we're going to make that known, and we're going to let people know in the chat that come in with that crap that this is not what the picture is. This is literally a boundary that's in place causing rain to set up. This is normal weather, happens a lot. We're going to see it again here. So I'm pretty sure there will be the conversation at some point once this event is over with. Oh, cloud seeding. Oh, weather modification caused this again. You don't get two events to happen like this very often. And the reason why they're happening is because we just don't have a lot of motion in our jet stream. When I talked about this yesterday in stream, when you don't have a jet stream sitting over top of an area of thunderstorms, it's going to help move those, or a cold front to push those storms through. These storms are not going to move. They're going to basically flare up where instability is at, where moisture is at, and they're not going to move, and they're going to rain out on top of the area that they form in. So that's basically what we're seeing. We saw it happen in Oklahoma today. We saw it happen up in Wisconsin and Iowa and Illinois yesterday. So enough with the conspiracy theory crap. We can put that aside for another day. And we're going to talk, and we're going to get people prepared for this and give y'all some real information, because that's what you guys need. So I wanted to go ahead and say that now, because it's going to get brought up. I'm gonna probably see it in the chat tonight. So if you guys see that in the chat, my mods, take care of that, please. I appreciate that. We're not bringing politics into weather, guys. It's just not going to happen on this stream. So if you don't like me, you can leave. End of story with that. We have a level 3 out of 4 moderate risk. The Storm Prediction Center, or not the Storm Prediction Center, the WPC Weather Prediction Center, set aside from the Storm Prediction Center. They upgraded central southern Texas today to a level 3 out of 4 moderate risk for significant flash flooding tonight through tomorrow. If you guys take a look here, the bullseye once again is the same exact areas as last week. We've got San Angelo, we've got portions of El Dorado in here, Big Lake. I mean, it's literally every single area that got hit. And you guys can see the city that took the worst of those impacts last week. That was the Kerrville area here that was under the gun. And they are in that level 3 out of 4 moderate risk here for flash flooding. That's the area that we've got circled there. That's the area we're going to be focused on a lot of here. This is the area that lost over 120 fatalities at the Camp Mystic. The same area here that'll be under the gun for significant rainfall totals tonight through tomorrow. Once again, if you were in these areas, you need to be very, very weather aware. I've already heard them mention that the Guadalupe River is already ready to go and primed for flash flooding. Once again, the water is just, the area there is just so saturated. Any trees that have not fallen potentially could fall if another wall of water comes through, if we get these rainfall totals tonight. These models are kind of in and around and all over the place with these storms. I will let you guys know, on the good side of things, a lot of people are just going to see about 1 to 3 inches of rain, maybe 3 to 5 inches in isolated spots. But the areas that are in this red bullseye, that moderate risk, have a better shot at seeing 8, 9, 10, 11, and even 12 or higher inch rainfall totals. And you guys see the cities and the areas that are going to be impacted from these storms tonight. So, like I said, model runs, guys, do not do the best at predicting high rainfall totals. They do it during hurricanes and in systems that are actually moving where we can actually get a better idea. But when we get these boundaries that are in place where we just get instability and moisture and storms fire off and they don't move, models typically do a horrific job with forecasting. Now, we do have a pretty decent idea of what's going to happen. WPC clearly sees that as well. But hopefully this is not going to be as bad as last time. But regardless of that, 1 to 2, 3, 4 inches of rainfall, any type of rainfall that falls in this area is going to cause a problem because the ground, like I said, is already saturated. We've got trees ready to fall over. We've got areas that we're still looking for people in that are going to get impacted from these storms tonight. So right now, the radar is pretty clear. We've not got a lot of stuff going on. These storms are going to start to flare up over the next couple of hours here through the overnight hours. We'll probably see the higher concentration of rainfall totals after midnight tonight through about tomorrow morning through midday. You can kind of start to see some of these storms initiating here. Like I said, outside of that, though, we still got a pretty big flash flooding potential that it goes from basically New Mexico all the way up here in Oklahoma, and that's from earlier this afternoon. So one more thing I will mention, we'll talk about the rainfall here in just a second. We are watching, if you guys don't know, we are watching the tropics. The National Hurricane Center did bring out the 20% development region. This is a tropical system that could develop in the next 7 days here. We've got a 20% chance as of right now. I do think that number will go up probably a 30 or 40 as we go through the next couple of days. We're still kind of waiting on some of our ensembles, kind of waiting on some of our just new guidance to show us what's going to happen with this system. A lot of the times when you get these cold fronts that come off the East Coast, where this storm's going to originate, we're basically going to watch a low pressure system try to develop over here off the southeast coast of the East Coast, basically off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia, and it's going to move through Florida early this week or late this weekend, going into Monday and Tuesday of next week, and we're going to watch this potentially. The key word is potentially. It's not a slam dunk yet, but the key word is potentially here develop into our next named storm of the year. Now, my honest opinion right now, I don't see this happening as of right now. There's about 1 or 2 model runs that are showing consistently an idea of a tropical storm developing next week. A lot of the models don't show it, and it's just going to be a heavy rainmaker. So regardless of this, if you're in Florida, you're going to get a lot of rainfall over the next couple of days. So we'll be looking at those higher rainfall totals through about, I think, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. So we'll be continuing to update you guys on that through videos and through streams. We'll have a stream every single night going forward talking about each weather event that's going to be happening. So we'll keep you guys updated with that, but I wouldn't be shocked to see this get upgraded to a 30% chance by Monday. So we'll see what SPC, or not SPC, but NHC does with that, but we will clearly talk about that here in a few minutes. I want to go ahead and give you guys the latest estimate here of what's going to be happening with our event here tonight. We'll start with the latest run. We'll go to our O1Z. Actually, we'll go to our OZ run because these rainfall totals have been kind of shifting around just a little bit over the last couple of hours here. But this is going to be rainfall through tomorrow afternoon, I believe, is when this will stop, midday tomorrow. So we're going to see showers and storms really flare up here. And where do we see those models putting that at? I mean, guys, this is like the worst case scenario. And this is what breaks my heart talking about this when we have to do weather coverage like this crap, because you're putting every single town and every single city that just went through this last week in it again. I mean, these higher rainfall concentration totals, you've got Kerrville here that experienced, I think it was like 26 inches of rain last week in a 2 to 3 day period. They're smack dab in the middle of this. We've got Killeen, Waco. Killeen saw over 12 inches of rain yesterday with trailing and training thunderstorms. I mean, you're really, like I said, putting a lot of problems on the table with this type of an event happening again tonight. And so, like I said, most of this is going to be through tonight and through tomorrow morning, but we really start to see these storms flare up really around midnight tonight. So between 11 p.m. really within the next hour or two here, storms are going to be firing. They're going to be moving. This is through about 8 o'clock in the morning. We're still seeing higher rainfall totals here. And I want you guys to understand these darker reds, these purple colors you're seeing here, these basically signal 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals per hour, and not 1 to 3 inches of rain in one day, per hour. And if that were to set up and happen, if these models are going the correct direction, and if they do validate, somebody's probably going to see 15 inches of rainfall tonight. I hope and pray it's not anybody in the areas that were already impacted. I hope it's not anybody at all, but somebody's going to see those totals, and that would be potentially where we're going to have to, really have the higher concentration of that significant flooding threat here. Like I said, this is through about 9 a.m. I mean, we're still seeing storms through 1 o'clock tomorrow. I mean, these storms don't move out of the area until right around this time tomorrow night. So we're talking about a 24-hour window of just rain in an area that just saw catastrophic flooding last week. I don't know what else could be worse than this. I really do not. And I'm just mind-boggled that it's happening again. So if you are in this area that saw these storms last week, you need to have a flood action plan in place. There's already flash flood watches in effect, so I don't need anybody. We shouldn't be hearing any stories that no National Weather Service offices were not preparing people. There are flash flood watches in effect from basically South Central Texas all the way up into Oklahoma right now, and I'll show you guys those watches here in just a second. But we have watches in effect. Those have been out. People know that the rain is coming. There shouldn't be any concerns of people not being prepared for this type of event, especially after we just saw this happen last week. So if you're in these areas, know where to go when you get a flash flood warning. Go where to go when you get a flash flood emergency. Flash flood emergency is a worst case scenario. That is the highest extreme warning that a National Weather Service office can issue. It's basically meaning that catastrophic flooding is happening in the area that it's in. It's like a tornado emergency, except it's not a tornado, it's flash flooding. So when you guys start to get these flash flood warnings, you got to seek higher ground. You got to be out of flood prone areas, and that's harder to say when it's happening. But there's been cases where people are sitting on top of their roofs when their homes are underwater. It's insane. So we'll be watching this very closely. We'll take a look at these rainfall totals. These are estimated, so remember that, guys. These are not going to be slam dunk on the dot, but could be higher, could be lower, could be in different areas. But where do we see the bulk of that heavy rainfall through tomorrow afternoon? In the same areas that got it last week. We're talking, 10 plus inches of rain potentially down here near Rock Springs or Kerrville, where we saw those most fatalities at last week, anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 8 inches of rainfall. And I want you guys to understand, like I said earlier, 1 to 3 inches of rainfall in this type of an environment already is going to cause problems. So just seeing that 3-inch total is going to be an issue. Seeing 5+ inches is going to be a big issue. Seeing anything above 10 inches is going to be horrific to comprehend and see here. So like I said, these totals have been bouncing around here. Remember, if you're in these areas, just be weather aware that you're going to see flooding more than likely. I think it's really becoming more of a likely thing that we're going to see that happen tonight. So just looking at some of these totals, Rock Springs anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of rain. Like I said, Kerrville, 5 inches of rainfall would be horrific. Fredericksburg here, we're talking 3 to 5. And then this would extend all the way up to the Dallas area. So we've still got rain to come east side of Dallas here too, 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. Down here to San Antonio, Austin. That's the OOZ run that came through a little bit ago. We'll talk about the O1Z. I think this is the newest run that just came through here. I'll let it load in real quick. Let me pull this through. Just 1 second here, guys. It's going to take a second to load. All right, let me go back to composite here, and we'll talk about this again. This is the O01Z that just came through here, so this is going to give us a better idea on those totals here. I'm even getting more concerned about the flooding up here near like Waco, Killeen, Round Rock. So it's not just the areas that got hit before; it's going to be areas that haven't quite yet got hit. So, like I said, when you get a band of rain that's producing 1 to 3 inches of rainfall per hour, it's going to be a problem. And so, like I said, we're already going to see this issue already unfolding in some areas already today where they've seen thunderstorms. So San Antonio getting in on this. It's just round after round after round. And what's basically happening is we're getting a boundary that's in place here. We've got lots of instability, lots of juice in the atmosphere. When you get those things coming together, you're going to get thunderstorms that are going to form, and you're not looking at a cold front or anything that's going to push these storms through or move them out quickly. You're going to get these storms to rain out. So once again, this is the same exact setup as last week. Same scenario, same thing to play out here. Just hopefully we don't lose any more lives is going to be the biggest thing. I hope and pray that everybody takes this seriously and actually listens and just heeds warnings and does what they need to do to be prepared for this type of an event. So, like I said, this is going to be a pretty significant event going through tonight here. The good news is this should be mostly out of here by tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. We should start to see showers and storms wrap up before we see another round of storms maybe at the middle of next week here. So we'll keep you guys updated on that here. I'll go back to some of these totals here for just a minute because this is the latest run, the O01Z or the O1Z run that just came through. And you can see it's shifting a lot of those totals further east where Kerrville is at. This was the hardest hit area last week. Saw 26 inches of rainfall with some of the areas in the county that I saw there in the hill country there. So you got to be very, very mindful. San Antonio as well. Be mindful. 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, maybe higher than that in some areas as well. Like I said, San Marcos, Austin, Round Rock. It doesn't get worse than this, guys. So, like I said, it's just thoughts and prayers are going to be with people tonight as hopefully people can sleep. Hopefully we're not waking up to people's houses floating down rivers and down roads. It's just not going to be good. So This is tonight, guys, through tomorrow afternoon. So we're talking like this flash flooding event is getting ready to happen, like get ready to start happening. We'll take a look at the radar here again. We've got showers and storms that are kind of bubbling up already. We aren't quite yet at that point yet where we're seeing widespread convection, but this is going to look like a whole different picture tomorrow morning when everybody's waking up. We do actually have a flash flood warning up here in effect for the Plano areas. We've got some heavy rain that's been moving through this area over here over the last couple of hours. So you guys are in that slight risk for flash flooding up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You won't see those higher rainfall totals as much as what we're going to be seeing down here in the moderate risk, but still, rain is rain. We saw Oklahoma City today. Lots of Oklahoma City areas underwater today from the 3 inches of rain that they saw. So, yes, power can 100% go out. And especially the problem is going to be is with, I want you guys to understand something. And I think power outages are going to be a lot more likely with this type of go-around event because the ground is already saturated from last week. It's rained bunches and bunches of days in the last 7 days here. What's basically going to happen is once the ground is saturated, you get more rain, you start to move that ground and that soil around, those trees are going to fall down. It's going to knock down power lines. And another problem that's going to be is those wires are going to be live. So if you're outside messing around in the water and, you know, trying to get out, you got to be hopping over live wires that are still active as those power lines are falling. So that's another big thing. And it's going to be in the middle of the night as people are sleeping once again. So if you guys are living in this area and you're going to sleep, please have alerts on your phones. Do not go to bed without alerts on your phones because you get a flash flood warning, you get a flash flood emergency, you have to seek higher ground, you got to get to a safer place if you're able to, because ultimately at the end of the day, that's what's going to be happening in this place. So, like I said, I'm just giving you guys the information. This is strictly from the National Weather Service. This is strictly from NOAA. I don't want to hear anybody saying that I wasn't prepared or that I didn't know it was coming. This has been forecasted for a couple of days now. We've been kind of seeing this. We've kind of started to talk about it over the last couple of days. Once again, tonight being that night where it's going to happen at. So we've got flash flood watches in effect. We've got warnings in effect that'll be are being issued at some point once these storms start going here. So let me get some questions going here in the chat. What do you guys have for me? I'll try to answer some of these questions. I got a little bit of the weather team in here. Like I said, we'll just be kind of watching radar for a little bit, kind of looking at these updated totals. Let me see what you guys got for me in chat. Frederick, Oklahoma. Most of Oklahoma's rainfall will be ending here pretty soon. Yeah, most of Oklahoma's out of it. So eastern Oklahoma will continue to see some rainfall. Frederick, you guys should be pretty much good. Louisiana, we're going to be watching the tropics for you guys next week. We could be getting our 4th named storm of the year. We've got our 20% chance of a tropical system developing, so we'll be watching you guys, and also we got to watch Texas going into next week as well, as we will probably see tropical moisture again surge into Texas at the end of next week. So we'll be watching out for you guys. Houston, you are not in a flash flood threat. If you are not in a shaded area, this is what's called the hydrological outlook or the hydraulics outlook here. This just gives us an idea of where the flooding threats are at, and green being lowest threat, marginal, yellow being slight risk, and moderate there being in the red. So if you're not in a shaded color, you're okay. Tulsa, you are wrapping up your thunderstorms now. You should be pretty much good here within the next 30 minutes or so. Yeah, Florida, you guys in Florida are going to have a great time. Let me pull up Florida really, really quickly because I want to give you guys some of these updated totals on there because you guys are going to see what's called tropical downpours. You are basically sitting in the hub of what we are going to call tropical system genesis. So basically what I mean is we're going to have a lot of tropical moisture moving into Florida over the next 4 to 5 days here, and that's going to allow for flooding to set up again. These are just some of the updated totals here, at least from the GFS model. This is going to go through next Friday. Anywhere from, a good 1 to 3 inches of rainfall for most of the state. Could see some 3 to 5 inch pockets in those yellow and gold colors. So if you were in Florida, going to be a washout going through much of next week as we kind of wait to see if a tropical system is going to get going or not. It's not a slam dunk on that. Models are, like I said, still kind of all over the place with this here, but we'll keep you guys updated on that there in Florida in video form over the next couple of days. So once again, these are just some of the estimated totals on the latest 0001Z Herman run here. If you were not from, I would say more from Dallas through Waco. This is more of the area that we're higher, at least more confidence is at for those higher rainfall totals. So Round Rock, Austin, San Marcos, Killeen, Waco, getting into Kerrville, Fredericksburg there. This is the areas that we're more confident on those higher totals being at. The models have kind of shifted just a little bit over the last couple of hours with these rainfall totals, but most of those rainfall totals seem to be pretty legit where we're going to be seeing that at. So if you're in Odessa over in like far west Texas, shouldn't be seeing anything too crazy. It's mostly going to be that south central Texas area where that low sets up. So I want you guys to remember something too. And I mentioned this beginning of the stream because this has just been something that we've been battling a lot as weather people. We've been battling the political side of things. I appreciate y'all in chat for not making this political and not making this anything than what it needs to be. Like I said, we're here to get you guys prepared, stay ahead of the storm. There's always going to be a meteorological reason for weather. Like I said, this just seems to be a big thing here recently. And, yeah, so I appreciate y'all for being real and legit in chat tonight because we've had some crazy streams over the last couple of days. So I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm over the politics. It's insane. Like I said, I will say one thing on this, and you guys have heard me make videos about this if you've watched me. We all know that cloud seeding is a thing, okay? You guys can, we all know that, okay? But to the idea and consent, if you guys do not know, cloud seeding only accounts for 0.1% of rainfall from clouds, and they are only used in certain states where droughts are happening at, where farmers' crops are needing water. It's 0.1%. That is a proven meteorological fact, and I can do a whole breakdown on that in a video one day when we're not busy, but people just don't believe it because that's just how people are. So this is not cloud seeding. This is not weather modification. This is a tropical moisture coming out of the Gulf, colliding with lots of instability, no boundary in place. You're not going to get storms to move, therefore flooding is going to set up. Classic meteorology 101. You learned it in school. So I am not a believer in the weather modification thing, guys. I'm not. And I'm a meteorology student. I'm in school for meteorology. I've been doing weather coverage for 7 to 8 years. I'm not a believer in that crap. So not a thing. I stick to basics. So you guys will learn that. I've probably made some people frustrated over the last couple days with my videos, but I'm not afraid to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to give false information. That's definitely for sure. There's a lot of people that are spreading false information about everything going on with weather. And like I said, I respect everybody's opinions. Y'all know that. I'm not going to like out you on social media for believing something that you want to believe. But when it comes to these events happening and why they happen, there is always going to be a meteorological reasoning on why things happen. And like I said, that's just the schooling side of me. I'm in school for weather. I've been doing this for such a long time. Like I said, yeah. I appreciate you guys very, very much though for being honest in the chat tonight. So, all right, what questions you guys got for me tonight? Let me see what you guys got. Let me see here. Will I be on every day this week? Yes, I go live every single night. We do live night updates every night between 9 and 10. I do live severe weather coverage for all severe weather events. We did a 6-hour stream yesterday for all the severe weather. If you guys are watching, for the Midwest and the Plains, we do it. We do it for anything. So. I appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you guys. All right, let me look over here on YouTube. Yeah, this is not really necessarily associated with like the La Nina or El Nino pattern. We're in a neutral pattern state right now with our Enso cycle. So basically, this is normal. This can't happen. This is not really associated, like I said, with the Enso. This is just associated with like a cold front or anything coming through. So. Can we get rain in Arizona? I'm hoping you guys need some rainfall in Arizona. You guys have been kind of locked underneath that heat dome, so you could use it. You need your monsoon season here soon, so maybe you guys get that going towards August. We'll have to take a look at that once our new runs come out for the month of August. No, Texas seems to be the major flood risk for tonight. I don't see any more flooding issues for really any other states right now. Just be Texas. Florida will have the flooding threat going into next week. Okay. So once again, if you're on this map here and you're looking at the screen, these are those higher rainfall totals I have circled. This is through tomorrow, at least on the latest model run here. We got Waco kind of coming in at about 3 to 5 inches, maybe some higher spots. It's really going to be the Texas Hill Country that gets hit again with these storms. So, like I said, all you can do is prepare. There's not much you can do to prevent water from falling from the sky, but just be prepared, be weather aware, guys, and we'll get you guys through this. We always do. So as long as you know what's going on, that's what matters. That's what matters at the end of the day. Yeah, so hurricane season's interesting. I've been asked that question a lot, especially in my videos over the last couple of days because we've been talking about it. So I really think hurricane season this year is kind of a little bit compared to last year. A little bit of a slow start. We've already had 3 named storms this year. We've had Andrea, we had Barry, and then we've had Chantal make landfall last week in South Carolina. Pretty significant storm that was with the rainfall in the Carolinas. But I do think this is a little bit compared to last year. I do think the Saharan dust is kind of keeping things at bay right now. We've not really seen a lot of tropical waves be able to advance off the coast of Africa quite yet. yet. But I do think as we go into the month of August, our MJO is starting to kind of switch a little bit. So we'll start to see that Saharan dust kind of pull, that Bermuda high pull. And I do think going into August, September, and October, as we really get cranking into our 3-month period where hurricane season typically pops off, that's when we're going to get really, really busy and things are going to get going, I think. So I think we're still forecasting 13 to 14 named storms, 3 of those being major hurricanes, Cat 3 or higher, as well as, I believe it's 6 or 7 regular hurricanes under Cat 3 status. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of months, but it'll be quite interesting. We've been just in an onslaught of severe weather. The severe weather this year has just been ridiculous. I think we've already passed the 2024 tornado count from last year. We've just overdone the tornado emergency count. We did overdone our high risks from last year. I mean, it's been a onslaught. I don't think there's really been maybe 1 or 2 weeks out of the whole year, at least since January, that I can recall, where we've not had any significant severe weather or I've had to cover something. So I'm pretty sure we've gone every single week having to cover something since the year started. So, yeah, I'm hoping we can get a break at some point. But if we do transition with the Enso cycle looks like it's going back to La Nina going into winter and or fall and winter of next year. So it's going to be very, very similar to last year's or to this year's start of the season. So it just makes next year's spring severe weather season either neutral or La Nina, which makes it active again. So we'll probably see another wild year of severe weather next year. It's been a good 3 or 4 years of it. So I'm hoping to have a car next year at this time, and maybe I can start chasing. So that would be something I want to do. I know I love doing coverage for you guys, but I want to start chasing too at some point. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, a lot of you guys that follow me that do, I know there's a couple of people that I'm actually a little close to that do emergency management, and it's been. I've been told some stories this year. It's been bad. I think our fatality count this year from tornadoes has not been super, super bad. We've lost some people in tornadoes. We've lost more people in flooding this year, just let alone from the Texas event last week. But yeah, it's crazy. It's been a wild year so far, and we're only halfway through the year. So I think winter weather season this year, or whatever you want to call it, winter this year will be interesting as well, because we'll be transitioning back to that La Nina state, or at least neutral Enso La Nina state. So we'll be seeing, we'll be seeing probably some wild things happen again. I also, guys, don't forget fall severe weather season. We don't just see severe weather during the springtime. We see it during the fall as well. There's always that second season when we get clashes of air masses coming out of the Gulf and coming out of the north, out of Canada. Cold air comes down, warm air comes up. You get a little bit of shear. You're going to get a tornado outbreak. It does happen. So, once again, guys, back here in Texas for just a moment. These are those updated rainfall totals, at least estimated from the HER model for tonight. This is something I've been seeing a lot tonight, a pretty big consistency trend. We are probably going to wake up tomorrow morning to another big story out of the Texas Hill Country for flash flooding again. I'm hopefully going to be able to sleep tonight through this and give you guys some updates tomorrow, but this is going to be a long event for a lot of people tonight. Once again, we're expecting at least 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, with the highest being maybe in the 1 foot plus range for a lot of these people that were just hit last week. So I'm hoping and praying that you guys are good in Texas. There's only so much you can do to prepare for flooding. It's not like, unless you leave now, you're there. But I don't even think leaving now is going to do much. So you just got to ride it out. Oh, Kim, good to see you. I appreciate you from the UK. We got somebody watching on YouTube from the UK. Let's go. I appreciate the sub as well. And we'll be on here for a little bit. I'll be on here till probably 45 minutes to 11. As long as y'all keep the conversation going, we'll stay on here. If you guys have any weather-related questions, too, feel free to ask. There's no boundaries. I may not be a degreed meteorologist, but I've been doing weather coverage for 8 years. I'm a pretty big nerd into this stuff and can probably explain just about everything that you would get from a meteorologist. We got a lot of meteorologists that I follow as well that come in here and support. So you guys will see those people a lot from the Ohio Valley as well that come in here. If you guys see as well, anybody that follows Reed Timmer or Edgar, Storm Chaser Edgar, he comes in here a lot. He's awesome. Me and him are very close. I've got a really good bond with a lot of people in the weather world over the last couple of years here. So eventually at some point I'll be chasing with Edgar in the future, which will be pretty cool. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for next year. Next year will bring some interesting things. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Edgar's awesome. I have mad respect for that man. Next year I'm chasing. Yeah, like I said, if I can save up the money to get a car next year, because my storm chasing vehicle that I had got put in a crusher this year because I was about sick of changing Cadillac converters out for the 3rd time. You can ask Ro. It was very frustrating fixing the car almost every other month. So I'll just be investing in getting a new car next year, and when I do, we'll hopefully have something to chase in or adventure out in a little bit. Be nice. I appreciate all the follows, guys. It means a lot. If you guys ever need weather coverage for any state, tropics, winter weather, this is my job, guys. I just don't get paid for it, and I don't really care about that part of it. So we are here to do full-time weather coverage when it's needed, where it's needed, and all of that. As long as you guys keep up with it, you'll be safe, you'll be good. Every single morning, I post 10-minute video updates on across the United States. If you haven't watched them, go watch them. We give live video updates every single day, all day long. As many updates as I can get out to you guys, I will. Ashley, it's not looking good. These totals on your board here are pushing, they're pushing a foot in Kerrville as of right now for at least the latest run. Yeah, Kim, I watched them as well. Mad respect for them. Mad respect for Max and Evan and all the other weather streamers out there. Agreed or not, mad respect for them. They do great. I started doing weather coverage when I was in high school on Facebook and then transitioned to what was Musically 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And then it changed to TikTok. And then last year we really got established on here. I think really the last 2 years we've gotten established on here pretty well. Now we're pushing almost 100K followers on TikTok and growing YouTube slowly. If you guys haven't subbed to me on YouTube, do consider doing that, because if something ever happens to this platform, we'll be over there full time. That's for sure. I agree, Cookie. I agree with you 100% on that. How much rain for OKC Metro? You shouldn't see any more, Adam. Should be done for tonight. What did you say, Kendra? No, but babe, the warnings just expired. There's no more warnings left. It just the one that we had dropped. Let me go back up to see that question there. Do you think Southeast Missouri is going to be as bad as fall? I can't really tell you guys quite yet in fall. When we get our, we should be getting the middle, I would say beginning or middle of August, we should be getting our outlooks in for the fall. When I start to see what the temperatures are going to do, I can kind of get an idea on what we're going to be looking at severe weather-wise, but you can really never predict severe weather more than a week and a half out. It's all based off of troughing, what the jet stream is going to be doing. I got you, Kim. I appreciate you for following. I think you're my first UK follower, or my first UK sub on YouTube. I appreciate it. Cat Love, there are no Texas cameras that work. I've used many of the Texas camera weather sites or websites, and they never work. They're not even like real-time cameras. So if there's anything going on, I would have to like have access to something from somebody else, and I don't have that access. So I've never been able to actually get anything to work in Texas. We've covered a lot of severe weather in Texas, and I never can get the cameras to work. It sucks. But if you guys do have pictures or anything, you guys can send them in to me via my Facebook weather page. I'll see those in. I can post those as well on there. That link is in my bio, and I can show them on stream tomorrow when we get on here, because we're going to probably get on here and do a little bit of coverage in the morning and talk about what's happening. Do I think the weather apps are lying to you guys? I don't know what weather apps you're using. Some are good, some are not great in these situations. Yeah, Michigan definitely underperformed today. A big bust in Michigan. I would say most of the Ohio Valley today in that slight risk and marginal risk saw some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, but it definitely did not meet slight risk criteria. Yeah, today's event, the last 3 events really did bust, other than the couple of strong 80 mile an hour to 90 mile an hour wind gusts we saw in Wisconsin and Illinois yesterday, as well as a couple of tornadoes. Yeah, Apple Weather is garbage. I've undownloaded that from my phone 3 years ago. I am not a fan of Apple Weather. I mean, you guys use what you want to use, but Apple Weather is not the best. The hourly forecast is never hourly accurate at all. It's garbage. I've never once had an hourly forecast be accurate from the normal Apple Weather app. If you guys want a weather app to use, WeatherWise is new. It's free. It's really good. I've heard. I've not quite got into that yet. I need to sit down and actually look at it. But I've heard it's pretty good. I use Radar Omega. It's a paid radar. That's what you guys see me do coverage with a lot. And then there's Radar Scope is a good one as well. It's also, but my radar is free. It's a really good weather app. If I could ever get a partnership with them, that would be great. But that'll be in the future, maybe. One of these days, we'll get a partnership with a weather app. As much as we stream a good 40 hours to 60 hours a week almost. I feel like we should get a partnership at some point. Thank you guys for the follows, by the way. I appreciate it. All right, let me go back to radar here for just a minute. We'll take a look at what we're seeing. We should be getting an NHC update. I think we already did. I think it just stayed the way it was at. Let me double check on NHC real quick. Yeah, so they didn't do the 11 o'clock tonight. Interesting. We should be getting our new GFS model run in here pretty soon as well, I think. In the next 10 minutes, that'll start to run. Did we get a WPC too? Okay, nothing tomorrow yet. I was waiting for WPC to update too. Adam, there's not going to be any more. You shouldn't see any more rain. If anything, like a half of an inch. All right, we're going to get our new O2Z running here. Let's see if these models shift. Ugh, I don't like these totals. Dude, every single her model run that's coming out is just making these totals worse and worse and worse. That's 12 inches of rain just outside of Kerrville within the next. That's through 11 a.m. So you're talking 12 inches of rainfall by 11 a.m. tomorrow morning if this model run validates. That is like worst case scenario, and that's the new run that's coming in right now. Yikes, that's not good. That's not good at all. No, Waco's still going to see rain. Just because you're not in the bullseye doesn't mean... Remember, guys, these are model runs. Model runs don't tell the whole story. They can only do so much, especially when we get these storms that are training. They never know well how those bands are going to set up. Oh, that's excited, Kim. That's freaking awesome. Hopefully you get to get some good storms out there. What's up, Jazzy? Good to see you. Got a lot of my regulars coming in. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are new in the stream, welcome in. I do appreciate y'all for hopping in. Yeah, when you see these totals, this is horrific. I'm not a fan of these totals that we're getting. Let me go back to Radar Omega for just a minute. We are starting to see lots of storms bubble up. We got storms that are bubbling up here in and around the risk zone. This is an area that I'm going to be paying attention to very, very closely. This is the area that had the worst fatality count. Really in quite many years with a flooding event. So we're not seeing any storms here in Kerrville right now, but that's kind of what we're waiting to see as storms pop up. All right, let me get that latest run. All right, the O2Z is in. Ah, this is not what you want to see. These brighter totals, yikes. Is this putting 12 inches of rainfall down? Wow. Yeah, 12 inches of rainfall in a 12-hour period. That's 1 inch rainfall rates per hour, if not higher than that. It's not good. Yeah, there's a lot of search and rescue going on, guys. There's still over 170 people that are missing in Kerrville right now, and they're about to get an additional half a foot of rainfall to a foot of rainfall. That's like worst case. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't imagine it. I would think that, and I hate saying this, but I would really start to think that at this point, it's kind of like watching Helene happen all over again last year. But those numbers are going to go up. I think those fatalities are probably going to go up, especially as we get to that point where we're after that 7-day period. So hopefully that's not the case, but I think that's what we're going to be seeing. So we'll be looking at these totals here for a little bit. Yeah, weather can be beautiful, but it is scary. 100% agree with that. 100%. So, you guys got anything else for me in chat? We can take a look at our overall pattern too here in just a few minutes. I'll take a look at that because these, wait for our... Let me go back to the national view here for just a second. What's up, Rush? Good to see you, bud. Rush, dude, my heart is breaking for these people in Texas tonight. Dude, I feel horrible for these people what they're about to go through again tonight. It's awful. It's just like worst case scenario. It's like you get slapped in the face once and then you get slapped again afterwards. As I say, you are in Texas. That's right. You are in Texas. Rush, if you ever decide to do anything donation-wise or set anything up, let me know too, dude. I'd love to help because I don't know if you've thought about doing that yet or not. Let me know. Yeah, Radar Omega is a good app for weather coverage. My Radar's free. Radar Omega you got to pay for. Radar Scope you got to pay for, and then WeatherWise I believe is also really good. I've heard. The problem is, guys, there is no cold front. There is no cold front with this storm. We are basically just dealing with pop-up thunderstorms that are just not going to move. There's no cold front pushing this out. There's nothing. So, yeah, Rush, let me know, dude. I'd love to work with you if you've got a mind on something. It's up to you though. Up to you. I'd just offering that to you if you needed help with anything. Let me know. We got a whole team too, dude, that would love to help. I'm pretty sure as well. If there's ever anything that you've got that's worth like giving back to people or helping out, just let us know. I'm sure Ro wouldn't care. I know Ro's in here watching. All right. Now, let me go back to our jet stream here. We'll just take a look at what we're going to be seeing. So, like I said, there's not really any boundary there's not really any boundary here in place. It's going to be sweeping these storms through. There's no cold front. You got a little bit of a trough here, but there's not really an associated cold front with this. It's going to push these storms through. So we're basically, like I said, watching that flood threat just be maximized tonight. If we are looking at going into next week here, we'll just talk for a brief second. Got an upper level negatively tilted trough here. This is what brought that cold front and that severe weather today across the Ohio Valley and the upper plains. We do have a little bit of a different jet stream that's going to start to take place going into next week. I want to talk about this here for just a second. So we go into Sunday and Monday here. That trough will lift east. We'll probably have a couple more days of showers and thunderstorms across, this corridor here through probably about Monday, Tuesday. So do be mindful. Local heavy rain can cause some flooding in some of these areas. We'll be watching Missouri Boot Hill all the way up to the Ohio Valley going into Monday. And then this is where things get really interesting. I'm really starting to kind of watch a trend towards the end of the month. I know this is when we get past 200 hours on a model run, it's kind of in la land. But going into next week, I do think much of next week will probably be quieter on the severe weather side of things. We don't really have any big dips in our jet stream or any big troughs coming through, but we are going to have zonal flow across Canada. So this could promote some high plains severe weather like northern Minnesota, the Dakotas here, something we'll watch going into Monday and Tuesday. I'm not really seeing any signs, like I said, of significant troughing or really any low-level troughing, but I do want to watch this. So going into Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to have a little piece of energy it's going to come through, maybe a little two pieces of energy here, a little lead trough before major shortwave trough coming in on Thursday. Could get some severe weather somewhere in this corridor here on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. It's not slam dunk right now. Storm Prediction Center probably won't issue anything until we get closer to these days, but I do think tomorrow, besides the heavy rainfall and the storms down the southeast and the southern plains, mostly severe weather will be at minimal going through tomorrow, going through Monday and into Tuesday, but Wednesday and Thursday we'll see things ramp up. I really want to watch Wednesday. If I've got one day to watch next week, it'll be Wednesday. Negatively tilted to positively tilted trough here, more positively tilt. We're going to have a pretty decent amount of shear here. So if these storms can get going in a pretty decent environment up here in the high plains and Midwest, we'll probably see some severe weather initiate going into Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be watching down here in the tropics for potentially a tropical system to develop past Wednesday. Once again, we got to see more model agreement before I really start yapping on that, but we'll be watching it. Right now, the Icon model is the only model that's showing anything really developing. Other than that, the ensembles have it, but the dermatistic models don't quite yet, so we'll be watching that. Going into Thursday and Friday, we'll really start to see that zonal flow continue here. We might even see a little bit of a cool down in some temperatures back up here into the high plains as well. So something to make note of. Most of the southeast will be seeing general thunderstorms every single day. There won't be any big time, severe weather in play, but there will be an upper level low, or not an upper level low, but a tropical surface low here that'll be kind of meandering, bringing rain down here into the southern plains. So there will be lots of heavy rain down this corridor for much of next week. Won't be really seeing, like I said, a lot of severe weather. I don't plan on having a lot of severe weather coverage next week unless things change, so that would be a good thing. We'll be on here doing nightly updates each day, though, for you guys, but we'll have videos out each day, so you're always going to get weather content no matter what. But then next weekend, things start to get a little bit interesting. I'm going to see overnight tonight how these models handle next week. But I think going into next Saturday and Sunday, we're going to start to see our big, what I like to call end of July, August heat wave setup. And that's going to be due to a high pressure that's going to try and get going here. We've really yet to see like a big heat dome. We've been hot this year. We've had temperatures with humidity, but we've really yet to see like a big heat dome with just days and days and weeks of hot weather. And so that may start to set up potentially as we go past the 20th of July. Like I said, we're 8 days out, so models are a little bit gross when it comes to this kind of stuff. But then I want you guys to watch here on the left side of the screen. We're going to start to see some significant troughing return, and this will probably return a lot of those bigger time severe weather events to the high plains, maybe even down in the Midwest here. We'll really have to watch Minnesota, the Dakotas. We'll continue to see that high pressure circulate down here in the plains, maybe some general thunderstorms, some low and severe weather days back in the Ohio Valley. And then going into, past this point, we're in La La Land, but just taking a look at the end of July, look what happens. Look what happens here. We get zonal flow back to meridional flow. Severe weather, severe weather, severe weather, severe weather, I think is on the table. And then this would open up the Gulf down here. Once again, maybe some tropical development getting going as we go towards the first. I really want to watch the first and second week of August. We typically get a lot of these tropical waves that come off the coast of Africa that will migrate through the Atlantic Ocean and over into the Caribbean and Gulf. And then that's when things spin up and we get some crazy things happening with our hurricane season. So not only do we have to watch severe weather, we got to watch the tropics. I want a lot of people to remember that, or you guys to remember that. Just because we're not seeing anything now doesn't mean we're not going to see anything later on. So something to make note of there. And then past that point, things get a little bit more uncertain on what's going to happen. So I believe the European model was also pretty well in sync with this as well going into next week. Just take a look at this here. A little bit more vigorous with the troughing on Wednesday and Thursday. And then, yeah, so pretty in sync. I think that was actually the 18Z run. Let's go 12Z and look at this. Yeah, the biggest thing with the difference in the European and the GFS is going into the 20th and beyond. It looks like a big cool down is going to come down with a huge high pressure ridge back in the west. So a little bit of uncertainty past that. That's over 13 days out. We'll take that with a grain of salt and look at that more in the future. But anyways, this would be, if we got a pattern like this that sets up, this would be derecho material right here. This would be a big windbag event potentially. So lots of things to figure out as we go into the end of the month. Going into the month of August, typically end of July, August is our hottest month of the year for most people in the United States. It's typical. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk more about it as we get closer. We'll look at overnight models tomorrow morning and kind of talk about that then. What's up, Manders? Y'all got any more questions for me in stream here? I'm just kind of waiting to kind of see what's going to happen here in Texas tonight. Like I said, it's not going to be fun. That's for sure. Go back to that latest run here. Jeez. Excuse me. Yeah, once again, if you're back in South Central Texas tonight, just be weather aware. We're going to have some significant flooding again tonight. So people will be probably waking up to water in their backyards again. And I just hate saying that, but that's kind of like the reality of these events when these events happen. So I'll go ahead and pull that radar back up here and let it loop for a few minutes so you guys can see what's going on. We'll stay on here just a little bit longer. I'm going to wrap things up, get some sleep. I'm going to try and get another video out to you guys pretty early tomorrow morning and kind of go from there. So. Honestly, let's see here. Weather tracker, Cat, honestly, you're going to have to get a radar app for that. So like I said, my radar is pretty good. You can track your rainfall totals and stuff with that there. Weather-wise is also, like I said, pretty good. You can, see the future cast. Anything that's got like a future radar or something on it, you can see a little bit better on to track with. Eventually at some point, I would like to, this is my goal for next year, is to get a second PC and another computer screen. I've got 4 monitor screens right now. I've got an 80 or a 64-inch TV, and I've got 3 32-inch monitors and a 2 32-inch monitors and a 28-inch. I want to get one more PC set up on the side over here so I can have a full live stream, like just a radar loop playing the whole time, where you guys can watch that. So that's my goal going into next year. It's going to take some time to get all that set up, and it's going to take the space to do that. But and where am I going to put it at? I'm probably going to have a desk sit right over here beside me, so I have no room to walk in and out of the room and do it that way. I'll have to just get over it, babe. It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But if the need is there, we'll figure something out. I would like to. It's just a goal I have. It's a goal. Listen, I have to set goals. I have to. I can't sleep with lights on in a room. I'm a very light sleeper, so I can't, if I get woken up easily by a sound or if the lights are on in the room, I can't sleep very well. So that's an issue too I have. Make sure if you guys are on TikTok that you guys are subscribed to me to YouTube. It is free. We are also live on YouTube. Once we hit 10 members on YouTube, I'm going to start doing members only videos on there. We're still going to have normal videos, but I'm going to start doing member only videos and member only live streams. If you guys would like to support and give back to me, the best way to do that is going to be going over to YouTube and becoming a member. It's $3 a month at minimum. You get access to member only live streams and videos and a lot of other cool stuff, and just it helps keep the streams going, and I really appreciate it. I will let you guys know, and this is super exciting, as of today I did quote unquote hire a new graphic designer, so my YouTube thumbnails and video tops should look a lot more intriguing. The last year and a half that I've been making them, they've been crappy because I'm not a graphic designer and I don't know what I'm doing. But I did have somebody today that came to me. As long as everything looks good and works out good, the video should look, and the quality of what I put out should look a lot better. So that'll be super exciting. All right. Any more questions, comments, concerns you guys got for me? Like I said, I really do appreciate you guys for being real in the chat. I battle like I said, I told you all this, and I've said this in a couple of my videos, and I'm not afraid to say it because I just speak my mind. I respect everybody's opinion, but weather should never be political, and it's turned into this horrific political thing over the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months, and it breaks my heart to see that way because I never grew up learning weather and being in weather and knowing it being political. It's just, that shouldn't be. Yes, politics can have impacts on weather and stuff that involves weather. We all know that. Clearly, we all know the National Weather Service had budget cuts. It's been a thing for a while now. But when natural disasters and stuff happen, we all need to come together and be together and help support people and help people that went through it. That's the biggest thing. I watched like I said, for any of y'all that don't know or people that do know, I watched my hometown get destroyed by a Category 2 hurricane last year. It should have been a Cat 2 hurricane. Asheville, North Carolina is where I grew up for 22 years. My hometown experienced 43 inches of rainfall in a 2-day period last year from Hurricane Helene. I watched over 250 fatalities, let alone in my county, as well as my whole entire life washed away, literally, in a river last year. Here from Kentucky. I was not there to physically be through it. I watched my family. I watched everybody go through it. So I have trauma from flooding. Rochelle and my whole weather team knows that for sure. So anytime we have flooding events, anytime we have natural disasters, it is trauma because I physically have not been through it, but I have went through it visually. So I remember not talking to my whole entire family. I have a sister that's 5 years old. I have a mom. I have everybody else, just like everybody has family. Was not able to talk to them for 7 days and was wondering every single day if they were still alive from the flooding down there. And they all did survive that. But some people that my family were related to did not. So I can vouch for that. I feel what you guys go through when you guys go through these events. It's not fun. Not fun at all. I'm going to let Jenny Purr back in real quick. Come on, Purrs. Yeah, you want a camera experience real quick? Here we go. It's the Purrs. She is here for her debut. We love Jenny Purr. She's so sweet. JJ, wait. It is the Purrs. She has to make an appearance on every single stream. Right? Am I going kisses? No. She's like, Dad, it's bedtime. She always comes in here when she wants to go to bed. Dad, it's bedtime. It's bedtime. She is. We've got 3 cats. We had 4. We gave one of our cats to one of our weather team people when we went to Ohio because that cat just bonded with one of our teammates that came down here for a trip last month or about a month ago. So we have 3 cats now, but that other kitty has another great home, which is super exciting. But we have Jenny Purr, that's my baby. Rochelle has Autumn, and we have Anita, which was our first. They're all tabby cats. So. So yeah, it's the Purrs. It's the Purrs. Yeah, Autumn is your cat, yes. How many inches of rain in San Marcos? Right now, with what the weather models are putting out, the west side could see as high as 3 inches. The east side, maybe an inch. We'll see. Like I said, the models are going to be blah with this whole situation. So, just depends. I really think we're going to wake up tomorrow with an orange blob instead of a yellow blob, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, Jenny Purr is the name. It was Jenny, but we added the purr just to make it cute. So we made it cute. But San Angelo, I believe, is in the higher pocket of colors here. Where are you guys at? I thought I had you guys pulled up over here. Yeah, right now San Angelo is a little bit on the weird side, but you're gonna get rain. The models are just being weird with this because you guys are in that moderate flash flood risk here. So we'll keep you guys we'll keep you updated on that. I would say 3 to 5 inches would be on the safer side. You're in that moderate risk. Models have been a little bit wonky with where the placement of this is going to be at, so it's not always about the model runs. It's just about what the outlook is showing. Michigan will probably be interesting toward the end of next week there, Ben. Might see some severe weather towards the Wednesday, Thursday time frame, but it's not a slam dunk. Oh, man. I think North Texas will be mostly okay. You'll see about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Maybe some higher pockets of 3, but shouldn't be too concerning. All right. I do want to say, guys, I appreciate the follows. I appreciate all the love. Y'all are so freaking awesome. Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. Okay. Thank you guys for all the gifts, by the way. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm not in school right now. I'm still enrolled in school. Currently right now, I've halted my school journey just because financially I'm not able to pay for school right now. That's not a pity party or anything. It's just being smart. I don't want to. I've always been a believer in going through school and not having student loans or anything. So I'm kind of waiting to save up money and go back when I'm ready to go back. But technically, I'll have my 2-year finished within like a 2-semester period. So I'm about halfway in. But degreed or non-degreed, I think we do a good job. So I like doing what I do on here. I don't want to stop doing what I do. But yeah, school's expensive. I don't have it right now. Yeah, I never will pull a student loan out. So I don't care how bad I want something. I just won't do it. It's not smart. Some people do it. If you do it, you do it. It's not a bad thing, but I'm not a believer in it. So no. So when you guys, this isn't, like I said, you guys don't have to do this, but when you guys, the biggest thing that I'm trying to push right now is those memberships on YouTube. That's basically my pay. So when you guys gift or when you guys watch my videos every day, that's how I get paid. I'm not gonna say how much I make a month. It's not a lot, but it does what it needs to do. So, but no, I don't get like a hourly thing or any of that. I'm not worried about it. I don't care. I'm here to do this because I love doing this. So. But yeah, if you guys ever want to give back, those memberships and super chats on YouTube while we're live go a long way. That's what we're pushing right now. So. Yep, I'm just Mezzomat on there. Yep. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, YouTube's where you guys are going to want to find me if TikTok goes away or whatever happens with this platform. I've been really trying to push that. The links in my bio is just Mezzomat on there. I'm Mezzomat on everything. But yeah, when you guys when you guys support on YouTube, whether it be becoming a member over there, it's like a monthly thing, or you send a super chat, I get all of that over there. TikTok takes like 70% of, or 60 or 70% of what you guys throw on here. So that's always, I'm like, if you're gonna support, do it outside, that way we get all of it. But I appreciate y'all. Even if you guys, like I said, even the people that just tap the screen and follow, we're pushing 100K followers, guys. I appreciate it. Like y'all are awesome. Y'all are all awesome. So I don't, like I said, I don't care about the money aspect of things. I never want it to be like that. I want it to be because I enjoy doing this and I enjoy giving y'all weather information and saving lives. That's what I'm here for. That's what the team's here for. That's what we're always going to be here for. So. It's gonna be a long night for people in Texas tonight, that's for sure. See if we have a new GFS run coming in. We do. Woo! Excuse me. What's up, Mac? I'll be on here until, we'll probably stay on here for about 15 more minutes. I'll stay on here till 11 p.m. Central Time, and I'll probably wrap things up. We've been on here for over an hour. Do you guys see how these storms are just not moving? This is what we call flooding right here. These storms are not moving. They're training, just sitting there. It's going to cause significant flooding already probably in the next hour or two if these storms don't move. Already starting to see storms just kind of bubble up down here. Southwest Missouri will have the threat for some general thunderstorms tomorrow. I haven't seen any severe weather forecasted for you guys. What's making them sit there? There's no cold front, there's no trough, there's no type of atmospheric entity to move these storms. They're just popping up and not moving. When you don't have a forcing mechanism to push things through, they're gonna sit there. So easy peasy as it gets. And for whatever reason, people think that this is not normal, and it is. We see this happen a lot. It just doesn't get covered a lot unless tragedy happens, which is crazy. I appreciate it, Shan. That means a lot. Every single sub goes a long way. Mad respect for you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're on here covering every single thing that happens, so that is the goal. Yes, Tilted. That seems to be a big thing here recently. Apparently cloud seeding causes everything according to some people, but it doesn't. I'm gonna, one of these days we'll get on here when we don't have weather going on and I'll break things down. So there's been so many meteorologists, if not almost every meteorologist that's been posting since this event happened last week, every single meteorological breakdown that it wasn't cloud seeding that caused it. We all know, like I said, know that cloud seeding is real, but it did not cause the Texas event. Cloud seeding only causes 0.1% of clouds to fall as moisture. And when iodine is used in and sprayed from airplanes for clouds to be seeded, it only lasts for an hour. It doesn't last for 24 hours or 2 days or 3 days. And that was proven already and debunked by multiple meteorologists. So it's the idea that people grab onto anything they can for any type of reasoning to make something make sense when it doesn't make sense. And then when people that know the truth try to tell the truth, we get shut out and looked like idiots. So it's just crazy. But it's typically usually how it works. It's mostly the people that are telling the truth usually get the crap for it. It's the people that fearmonger and give false information that usually get the free ride through. But that's something I've battled for years. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. when if you're gonna get into weather forecasting and you're gonna do what I do or any other meteorologist or weather streamer does, you're gonna always battle it. It's gonna always happen, and if you let it bother you, you're not gonna get anywhere with it. So I'm telling you guys, I've had some crazy streams where I've had nothing but people scream and yell. I've had some horrible messages from people because I've given my thoughts on a certain event, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like you. We're gonna cause hectic." And so yeah, it's been a wild ride over the last 3 years, but it's not anything you can't handle when you're doing social media. It's just something you got to learn and build a wall over. Something I've learned a lot, especially the last 2 years. But all right, y'all, we're gonna stay on here for about 5-10 more minutes, and then we're gonna wrap things up. So if you guys got any more questions, I'll answer them. Of course, kind of Texas, you guys will you're in that slight less marginal risk for flooding. So about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall tonight probably will be your biggest thing. If you get any more storms. But like I said, don't be shocked tomorrow, guys, when y'all wake up and you see these pictures and images again tomorrow for flooding. It's gonna happen tonight, more than likely than not. So just be bracing your eyeballs for it. There's gonna be a whole controversy tomorrow. We're just watching radar right now in Texas. I appreciate all the follows tonight. Y'all are awesome as always. I appreciate it. Okay. St. Louis, Missouri will probably have some general thunderstorms tomorrow. Very low chance. But yeah, no severe weather. Okay, so I'm yawning. National's fine. General thunderstorms tomorrow. I'm not too worried about you guys either. Any stats in San Antonio? I think San Antonio kind of sits on that weird bubble where we could see heavy rainfall or not see heavy rainfall. So we'll kind of see what happens, kind of going from there. I believe the latest HER picked up. Let's see here. Yeah, really not much. So we'll see. Just depends. I would say, if anything, 1 to 3 inches of rainfall to be on the safe side. DFW still get some more rain for the next couple of hours, but other than that, shouldn't be anything too crazy either. We get the latest. Ooh, the latest icon come in. Hold on a second. Let's see if the icon's still doing its thing. Oh, interesting. So the icon is the first model so far for next week's event to show a hurricane making landfall in Texas. That's something right there. Icon is that's interesting. That's definitely blown out of proportion a little bit there. That is the first model run so far to show that. That would be next Friday. Be a landfalling hurricane in Texas, Houston area. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's definitely a little far out there in La La Land. It's not good though. If we're starting to see those runs. The icon model is known for being interesting, but the problem is you can't just go off of one model run when you're looking at tropics. You have to go off of ensembles and multiple runs, and the icon model is the only model to show any type of really developing system next week. The GFS and the European dermatistic models have been pretty inconsistent with just mostly just showing rain, not anything developing. So I think as we go into tomorrow and go into Monday and Tuesday, we really should get an idea on what this system's going to do. So really in the next 72 hours, I'll probably have an idea on if this is going to probably happen or not. And we'll ultimately see too, as NHC will either upgrade or get rid of their blob of lemon that they have. But if the icon's depicting, and what's interesting about this, and I want to make this note now, is say this low does develop and it moves over Florida and it actually gets going and it moves off the west side of Florida here. what the issue is going to be is the Gulf is so dadgum warm. So these models don't account for rapid intensification. When a storm undergoes rapid intensification, it basically strengthens very quickly without being forecasted to, and it happens a lot with a lot of these systems. So that's something that these models don't account for. So if we were to get some type of tropical system, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but it's something we do need to think about. So just kind of saying here, I wouldn't, if a low got going next week, let's just say worst case scenario, if a low gets going next week and this thing becomes a depression by Monday or Tuesday, maybe no later than Wednesday, and this thing barrel rolls towards the Texas Panhandle and those warm water temperatures, hurricane may not be off the table. But I think we're kind of in far la la land with this right now. So unless we start to see some other model runs start to show this, I'm not going to get concerned quite yet. It's one run. We'll see what happens. But this is interesting. I don't like to see that. That's a little bit up there. I don't think the GFS is showing it either. This is only until Tuesday, so we'll see. We'll stay on here just a few more minutes and see what the GFS does with this. I don't think the GFS was doing anything. Yeah, it has the low 1015 on Tuesday. I think the icon was going. So the icon doesn't have it until. Look at that! Look at that thing get going though. That's something. Ro, what does that remind you of that happened last year? What does that remind you of in the month of July? GFS updates every 6 hours, European every 12 hours, icon every 6 hours, your ensembles every single 12 hours. I've got it on the fly like that. That's just what comes with it. Bro, we might have a 4-day tornado outbreak next week. I'm just kidding. Hopefully that's not the case. That would not be good. That'd be worst case scenario right there. Can't wait to see that get talked about on social media tonight. That'll be wild. Look at that thing. Ooh. This is probably one of the best fantasy runs you'll see so far this season right here. That's something right there. Look at that. You ain't tired? No, I'm tired. I get tired this time of the night, but you push through it. Look at that. I just think it's crazy seeing this already. Comes over Florida, and then boom. Maya, isn't that something? Ain't that something? Like I said, this is the icon model, so we more than likely know that this is probably in La La Land, I would think. Unless if the European and the GFS start doing some crazy stuff, we'll start to buy it a little bit. But this is the only model that's showing a hurricane in Texas next week. I just don't see it happening right now. Not that it can't happen, but we got to get a load to develop. We got to get an invest going. We got to get all this stuff happening, and that's not going to probably happen until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. But this is just, I'm telling you guys right now, you will see somebody on social media that wants money that's going to scare the crap out of people post this model run. It will happen. You will see somebody on social media post this model run tonight. It will happen. If somebody wants money and they want to monetize, they'll do it to scare people, 100%. Oh, a Category 5 hurricane's coming to Texas when it's reading 993 millibars. That's not a Cat 5. I'm sorry. Learn weather, bud. It happens every time. It never fails. I would say so. Tropical Storm Chantal last week hit 998 or 997. It wasn't even sub 995, I don't think. I'll have to double check on it and look. But this would put it at Cat 1 status. Just depends. But that's something right there. All right. Yeah, the GFS is still a little bit far out. I mean, the GFS, so here's the GFS, the new run that's coming in right now. This is next Tuesday. It does have the low right here. So if this can get going, I mean, you really never know with these tropical systems. It's weather. Anything can happen. Maya, I'm pretty sure last year at this time, weren't you wanting rain though? Just like it flip flop this year. Yeah, this does have a little bit of little familiarity, but like I said, we're not gonna freak out. We'll see what happens over the next 2 days, and if we start getting consistency, with these runs next week, we'll look at it for her pond. I know, right? For real, for the pond. It's just really weird too because the low is gonna originate back over here off the coast of South Carolina, and it's gonna curl and go west. It's gonna go west, which is a little bit different than what we typically see with these patterns, but I mean, it's a very broad low, so it's not like it's doing anything crazy yet. So that's where it's at right now. Let me look at the latest run. What did the 18Z do? I'm curious. So already noticing a difference almost here. Just slightly difference. 18Z had it still here, but it pushes it up to the north. We'll see if it pulls it. Which way it's going to pull. Big old question mark here. My pond isn't a beach anymore. Well, Maya, at least you got some good room for some fish. Thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate it. Get some good room for fish, though. At least I would say at that point. Let's see what we're gonna do here. I didn't even do anything with it. Still, I believe, have it down here. Let me go back to the surface map. Yeah, so it's still pulling this. It doesn't even have it developing. It just pulls it through Florida and back up into the southeast. So the GFS doesn't even want this thing alive. It doesn't even want it. Yeah, so there is a high pressure. Yeah, there is a high pressure that's going to be down here. There's also one back over out in Bermuda, the typical Bermuda high. But if this high pressure can weaken, it will yank it. It's going to yank it to the west. So regardless of if this does develop or not, it's going to yank it west. But if it gets into the Opium Gulf, like the icons do, and a little bit further south underneath of that high, then we're going to have some issues. If the high doesn't do its thing, it'll just, move it up north, and we'll just get some more rain in the southeast. So it's kind of a win-win with the rainfall totals, I guess, or wrong, whatever you want to call it. But we don't want it to go out into the Gulf because the water temps are just astoundingly ridiculous for tropical development. We could easily see a system rapidly intensify if it wanted to. So, thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Heather. But so far, the icon model is the only model that's going a little bit bizarre with the scenario here. And it does have, I won't say it's not developing the low. The GFS has the low developing well up here on Tuesday afternoon as a 1011. So this would be an invest almost, maybe a tropical depression, if that. The icon already has this thing almost lit up as a tropical storm by Tuesday. So we'll see. Yeah, there is a map of the Gulf temps. Let me find our sea surface temperatures. I thought, I think Tropical Tidbits has it. Let me find it real quick. Let me find. Oh, this is gonna suck a little bit. Hold on a minute. Yeah, this isn't gonna be it. Let me get that to you tomorrow. I thought I had a map on here. I mean, this is the closest we have technically. Have I learned to read weather? I've been a weather nerd since I was basically born. Yeah, Shan, let me get back to you that tomorrow. Let me find one because I thought I had one saved and I don't, and it's gonna irritate me really badly. That's my bad. I thought weather nerds had it. Oh, here's the ensembles. We can take a look at the ensembles here for a second. This is the GFS ensembles. Let's see if they've loaded through. Yeah, so what's interesting, so we'll take a look at this for just a second. Oh, thank you, 605 for the heart, for the hand heart. I appreciate it. And the tiny Danny and the heart me. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is a group of the ensembles. So what's interesting enough is the ensembles on the GFS, GEFS do have a low developing. It just doesn't have the low intensifying. So we've got one model going 102. The rest of these are going 110, 114. So that's right at a tropical depression, maybe if that. Water temperatures are supportive. I think we're talking 70s, pushing some upper 70s, maybe some 80s. Off the coast of Florida, it's in the upper 80s. So, but those are those ensembles. You can see most of those are going to be grouped. They're going to be moving a little bit further to the. They've got these moving northeast. One's got it going east. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I believe the European. Let's see what the Europeans go. Where is my previous forecast at? Let's see here. Yeah, the European's a little bit more bullish, but still kind of the same trend. So none of these models are doing like anything crazy, except for one that pulls a 978 millibar Cat 3. But regardless of that, that doesn't matter. It's an outlier. But yeah, we'll see what happens over the next couple of days, and kind of go from there. I'm not super concerned about it right now. If things trend up, we'll go from there. I think the icon as well. Yeah, the icon's going to be the icon, so we'll look at more at that later. But yeah, that's kind of what we got right now. We'll talk more about that in the future. But just a lot of moisture that'll be, a lot of tropical moisture. Yeah, I do think we'll start watching this really closely Monday and a Tuesday. Once this low officially comes off the coast, if it does get going. We did see, I mean, with Tropical Storm Chantal, it only had a 10% chance, and the models weren't showing much of anything with it, and it did some crazy crap and almost became a hurricane. So you never know. The weather is interesting. That's why we're here to cover it full time. So we'll keep you guys updated. I'll be clearly watching this like a hawk behind the scenes for you guys. I'm not gonna leave you guys unattended during this like I did the last one when we were on vacation for. I couldn't help that one, but yeah, we'll be here to cover this for sure. It does keep you on your toes. It does. So gotta love it. Love the weather. Yeah, San Antonio, Texas, you could see some flooding tonight, about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, maybe some higher totals. I mean, these models, this is a new O3Z coming in. I mean, they're just pretty slam dunk on a pretty good amount of flooding tonight. So we're gonna see some not great pictures tomorrow morning. I told you guys that earlier. It's gonna be a long night for people in South Central Texas again. It's gonna suck, but I'm gonna get ready to wrap things up here with you guys and get some sleep. See what the day brings tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, so we'll have a video out to you guys tomorrow morning. We'll do this again tomorrow as well. We'll have an update. I'll try to get on and maybe do some little bit of weather talk with you guys tomorrow morning if we can. That'll be the game plan. So I appreciate you guys very much. If you guys have not subbed to me on YouTube, do think about doing that. We're 8 subs away from 3,200 subs. So we're slowly growing the count over there. It's going to take some time, but I do appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, I think that's what I've got for you guys for tonight. Yep, that's what I've got for you guys. So other than that, I'll have an update for you guys tomorrow. Weather team, thank you guys for hopping in. All of you guys can hear my new peeps and my older peeps. I appreciate it. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the taps. And we'll see you guys back in here tomorrow. Be safe, guys. Be weather aware. Alerts on your phones. Alerts on your phones. Alerts on your phones. If you're in Texas, please. It'll save your life, I promise. Bye, guys.